You want fame? Well, fame costs. And right here is where you start paying in sweat.
Hello, black hole. See this brother win, man. Hey, look, what is it, win, baby? What is it, win, baby? What is it, win, baby?
Hello there, bugs. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. Today's looky would be our animal print turban. And as usual, your turban will come with a free gift. And if you are not already a part of our book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's continue talking about Miss Mariah Carey with Michaela Angela Davis, the meaning of Mammie. By the time I was 11 or 12, my mother was taking me to a supper club on Long Island to sit in with her and other musicians. There was a dining room on the ground floor where they would serve dinner, and upstairs was live jazz. I was in the 6th grade, up in there at all hours of the night, any day of the week, sitting in with grown-ass musicians. I'm not sure if my mother just wanted to be able to hang out at night and sing and not be stuck in the shack, or if she was just trying to prepare Mariah Carey for what was to come. Okay? Remember, her mother is a trained opera singer who went to Juilliard, girl. I never knew that. She's at the supper club with her mother, feeling in place. She preferred being there than at school with them kids that's constantly picking. My mother wasn't just any old mom supporting me. She was a Juilliard trained musician. Music was something we genuinely connected on, and without pushing or becoming one of those overbearing stage moms or momagers, she instilled in me the power of believing in myself. Whenever I mused about what I'd do if I make it, she would cut me short and say, "Don't say if I make it. Say when I make it. Believe you can do it, and you will do it." The fact that I believed that I could become a successful artist is one of my greatest strengths. Around the same time, my mother entered me in a talent competition in the city, and I sang one of my favorite songs, "Out Here on my own." Listen to me. That damn Irene Cara was everything to me. Do y'all remember the movie Fame? Baby, look at me and tell me what you see. You ain't seen the best of me yet. I felt Out Here on My Own described my entire life, and I love singing that way. Singing to reveal a piece of my soul, and I won doing it. At that age, I lived for the movie Fame. Me too, girl. Me too, girl. Oh, Coco. I wanted to be a Coco. I lived for the Fame movie just as much as I lived for the Fame show. That's when I first fell in love with Debbie Allen. You want fame? Well, fame costs. And right here is where you start paying in sweat. I felt Out Here on My Own described my entire life. And I loved singing that way, singing to reveal a piece of my soul. And I was doing it. At that age, I lived for the movie Fame, and Irene Cara was everything to me. I related to her multicultural look, Puerto Rican and Cuban, her multi-textured hair, and most importantly, her ambition and accomplishments. She won an Oscar for Best Original Song for Flashdance, What a Feeling, which she co-wrote. From Flashdance, making her the first Black woman to win in a category other than acting. She won a Grammy, a Golden Globe, and an American Music Award for the song too. And I couldn't believe I won a trophy for singing a song I loved. It was the first time I'd received validation as an artist. My mother had a friend named Sunshine. Oh, shit. Whenever I meet a woman named Sunshine, I always be like, are you selling pussy? Sunshine had big, older sons and no daughter. So she took an interest in me, especially in my disorderly and neglected appearance. She would often bring me cute, girly clothes that she made herself. On my 6th birthday, she outfitted me in a white embroidered shirt paired with a blue skirt, white tights, and Mary Jane shoes. She was never anything but caring and sweet to me. Years later, when I was going into junior high, she came by with some clothes for me that I felt were too childish. I rejected them rudely, in the cruel fashion of any angst preteen. To this day, I regret how mean I was to such a considerate caretaker, one of the few in my whole life. Damn. I tried my hardest to accept all my mother's unfortunate choices in men. I even tried to impress them. Some of the names have been changed to protect the dickheads. That's not my words. That's her word. It's a dickhead. Tales of a certain man in my mother's life right before my father loomed large in our household. We knew his name, Francois. We knew he was Lebanese. Remember we was talking about him previously, okay, in the book, That's Old Rich, not white man. Okay, he's a rich one, right? And the Mammie had lofty dreams about being scooped up by that man, okay, being taken away to some castle in the sky, girl. Hold tight. And we knew he was rich. Despite her great talents, my mother, like many women of her era, subscribed to the belief that a man was her most reliable source of security. The time between the relationships she had with Francois, that's that rich non-white man, and with my father was not long. It was even sometimes suggested there had been some overlap, which led to the suspicion that perhaps Morgan was not my father's child. Drama. Ooh. After the divorce from my father, my mother and Francois reconnected, and she planned an epic reunion with the rich man who got away. My mother got Morgan and me excited about the fantasy that a wealthy, exotic man would sweep us up out of our rundown digs and we would be set for life. All we had to do was impress him. I could do that, I thought. Maybe my mother and I could sing a song at the piano. The night of their big date arrived, and while my mother and Francois were out, I pulled together the best little outfit I could to greet him. I was nervous because my mother wanted to be rescued bad. And I wanted to be in a nice, safe place, too. The stakes were high. Before we go further, the fact that this child is very aware that a man could come in and save us and take us to the promised land is startling to me, because what is the mother telling young Mariah? Depending on who your mother is, they instill in you that you get you a good man, you get pregnant, and you set. Nay was never going to be that girl. 2 minutes. Let me tell you something. It was a numerous drug dealers that I messed with back in the day that thought they was going to get this womb impregnated. No. Okay? Because I knew that I wasn't a mother. And if I wasn't a mother, I knew that I had to have a father. Okay? Meaning that if I knew I wasn't going to be a good mother, then I needed to have a good father. Okay? For the baby that's, not in this womb. Okay? So if I chose a man that's in the street that I know will go back and forth to jail, I can't do that. Means I got to take care of the baby in the interim. And I wasn't going to do that. Even though my wife keep talking about babies, I'm like, don't bring no fucking babies in this house, girl. Don't do that. Don't do that, because I'm not going to take care. She's not going to take care of the baby. She's not going to do it. The hell? I don't want no baby. Shit, 50, I want to have some fun. I was home alone when my mother and Francois returned. I was home alone a lot as a child. Determined to do my part to make this relationship work for my mother, I ran to the door. Francois came in ahead of her. He was a tall, imposing older man in a dark suit with sharp, mysterious features. "Hello," I began cheerfully, perhaps throwing in a curtsy for dramatic effect. "Shut up," he barked. "Where's my son?" Hold on. Who the hell are you talking to? At that part right now, at that point right there, that right there, if I was her mother and I saw him talk to my child like that, or heard him talk to my child like that, or if my child came to me and said, "Oh, Ma, he told me shut up, where my son?" Cut. I don't give a fuck how much money you got. You will not, because that's foreshadowing how he's going to treat your babies down the line. I wish a nigga would play that shit. The force of his words crushed every bit of enthusiasm out of me. He was scary. I was only a kid, and this big stranger had stormed into my house, dismissed me, and screamed at me. I ran crying into my mother's bedroom. She tried to calm me down, but I was inconsolable. I'm not sure if Francois ever saw Morgan, who had our father's black features running all up and through him, but needless to say, no rich heroic man saved us that day. No man saved us any day. I did not like or trust most of Mother's men. She had an older black boyfriend, Leroy. She talking about, "I don't trust none of these ninjas over here, Mama. You keep bringing these dudes in here, but I mean, you need a better picker, okay?" I ain't, picking on her Mammie, because there was a time that I really did need a better picker. So one time they was at the house. That would be Morgan, young Mariah, the man Leroy, okay, and her mother, okay? The mother and Morgan, the boy, okay, had got into it. Morgan, he don't have no respect. Something going on with him mentally, right? So he yelling in the mother's face in front of Leroy, child. That Leroy had that thing, okay? What you won't do is yell at my woman. Yeah, I know you her blood, but what you won't do is yell at my woman in my woman's face. He challenged the little boy with that thing in his hand. The Mammie like, "Oh, shit. Oh. This can't continue." Then we go on to this dude named Henry, okay? Henry wasn't all bad. In fact, Henry was pretty cool. Henry was also a man who had, a black man who had went over to Vietnam and came back. Fuck dude. I was in the 3rd grade when we lived with Henry. I really liked Henry. He was an Aries just like me. Oh, Lord, so that means that Negro got anger problems too. Okay. I really liked Henry. He was an Aries just like me. We would dance and he would pick me up and twirl me around. He provided me with a glimpse of what the life of a carefree little girl could be. Henry was a black Vietnam veteran and was severely damaged by the consequences of both of those identities. I suspect he suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder. And even as a kid, I was aware of his occasional psychedelic drug use. I believe the fallout from his experiences of war and racism was the root cause of why he and my mother broke up. One day near the end of my 3rd grade school year, I got home and my mother was up in arms. She announced, "We can't stay here no more. We have to leave now." She already had our things packed and in her car. Being as though Henry is not always the bad guy, he had rescued a kitten for her, Morris, right? So Henry at the front door with that thing on him, okay? He like, "Man, y'all ain't going nowhere." Smoking his cigar. "I ain't playing with y'all. Y'all ain't going nowhere. If you go somewhere, I'm gonna kill you." Mariah's like, "No, Morris, the cat, is still in the house. I gotta get Morris." The mother watched Little Mariah running the house to go save the cat with the crazy man Henry. Even Mariah was like, what the hell was my mammy thinking? Yeah, mammy, what the hell was you thinking letting your daughter going back in the house with the crazy man? All the while, he's still standing in the threshold saying, if y'all leave, I'm going to kill everybody. Mariah grabs Morris and hop in his seat. I got you, Morris. I never knew what happened between her and Henry, and I never saw him after that. My mother did occasionally try to give us moments. She would save up a little money so we could do things like go to dinner in New York City. And it was on these excursions that I developed a taste for the finer things. I have a distinct memory of one night when we were riding back from the city. I was looking out the back window at the New York City skyline, and I said to myself, this is where I'm going to live when I grow up. I want to have this view. So yes, my mother exposing me to beauty and culture gave me encouragement and lifelong lessons that contributed both to my art and to what is good in me. But my mother also created persistent turmoil, which caused trauma and deep sadness. Looking back now, I can see that in my early years, there was significant neglect. For one, there were the people my mother let be around me, particularly my violent brother, my troubled sister, and their sketchy cohorts. And I often looked a mess, though I believe that was likely a result of my mother being oblivious in the name of being bohemian. I was about 14 years old one night as we were riding together in the Dodge Dent, as she called it. Somebody's Watching Me by Rockwell came on the radio. I always feel like somebody's watching me and I got no privacy. Whoa. Rockwell, what is he doing now? I heard he was around there beating up his, maids and butlers and shit. Is that true? Noma said that his mammy was crazy and he always was a flinchy little boy. Okay? And then his father was very bad bug bite, so, maybe he just didn't stand a chance. But I heard he was around there whooping up on his nanny. They riding in the car, right? The song Somebody's Watching Me is on the radio, okay? Her mother, who is a trained opera singer, sings the chorus or the hook, somebody's watching me, in an operatic style. What's so funny, she spat. Her seriousness quickly swallowed up the silliness of the moment. I stuttered, well, that's just not how it goes. She stared at me until every bit of lightness faded. Almost growling, she said, you should only hope that one day you become half the singer I am. My heart dropped. But, it didn't mean anything because, she went on to do great things in her life. Hence, in 1999, when I was acknowledged and respected for my voice and my compositions by two of the greatest opera talents of all time, I was invited to join Luciano Pavarotti in Pavarotti and Friends, a prestigious annual fundraising concert for children in war-torn countries. Then in 2005, she went around there, with what's her name? The Oprah. Okay, the Oprah does the Legends Ball where she find all the black women who need to be honored, and she like, well, hell, that's a big deal to me because if Oprah want me to sit at her table, that is more than what my mama's opinion means in my life. Girl, please. Oprah has her picks. She did pick Monique at one time, but I guess, okay, Monique didn't let Oprah, and Gail, Susan. I doubt if Oprah apologized to Monique because Monique is a straight woman. I guess to my mother, I may not have been half the singer she was, but I was the whole singer and artist that I was. Having people you love be jealous of you professionally comes with the territory of success. But when the person is your mother and the jealousy is revealed at such a tender age, it's particularly painful. I was going through some heavy shit then. And for her to expose her insecurity to me in that way at that time was damaging. She called herself Dandelion. The hardy, bright yellow wildflower with small tooth-shaped petals that gives the early signal that spring is near. Now, if you have not already done so, please remember to like, share the Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. Now remember this, the same people that you meet on the way up will always be the same people that you meet on the way down. My naysayers, my patron loves. You babies, have a good one.